Hi, so it's me again, Debbie, and I'm going to tell you about my plane trip on the way over here. I was sitting in first class, and before I sat down, there was a gentleman sitting next to me, and he said, "Hi, my name's Sam," and I said, "My name's Debbie," and then we're sitting there, and there's always that like, am I going to pretend to be asleep? Am I going to read, listen to my headphones? What am I going to do? So he asked me to take a look at the menu. He's like, "Have you seen the menu?" And I'm like, "No." So I pull the menu out and I look at it and I go, "Oh, that looks good. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Oh, He goes, "Which entree are you going to have?" And I said, "Well, um, I guess I'll be having the salmon because the other is pasta shells, and I won't be having that because I've had bariatric surgery, and that would be a no-no." So I said, "Oh, I've had bariatric surgery too." And I said, "Oh, you have?" He says, "Yes." So we just hit it off and started talking. And he says, I'm looking at the menu, and he says, "What do you think of that dish?" I said, "Oh, that's a signature dish by Sam Choi." He goes, "Yeah." He says, "That's me." I said, "Oh, okay." He goes, "Yeah, I work for American." I said, "Oh, okay." And I had noticed that the flight attendants were kind of paying a lot of attention to him, so that started to make sense. Then I said, "Oh," I got out my Sharpie and I said, "Would you like to autograph my menu?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, sure." So he autographs my menu with Debi. He knew my name was Debbie. He was calling me Debbie, but he writes Bebby, which I thought was funny. And then I didn't really realize how famous he was until one of the flight attendants came up to me and told me, "Oh, yeah, he's really famous. He's the most famous chef in Hawaii, and he's written 14 books, and blah, blah, blah." And then another flight attendant came up and said, "The woman sitting back in 5B would like to know if she could get your autograph. She doesn't want to bother you, but she would like to have your autograph." So he's like, "Oh, yeah, sure. Go get her menu, and I'll sign her menu." So the stewardess comes back, and I give him my Sharpie again, and he signs the menu for this lady. He says, "Find out her name." So they did. So we just hit it off and really started talking about things. And he had been in Beijing for a couple of weeks working on the international menu. And he is working here on the Big Island on a restaurant that he's opening here. He already has like 3 restaurants, but he's opening one here. And he started telling me, "Oh, my wife is really interested," because I had told him I had flip houses. So he says, "My wife is really interested in that. She watches HGTV all the time, and she would like to do that." And so I said, "Well, that's, what does she do?" He's like, "Nothing." So I said, "Well, yeah, sure, I'll talk to her about, see what her interest level is, or, see what's going on." And then I said, "Is this her idea or your idea? Because I certainly don't want to talk to her about something that's your idea. She has to want to do it." So he said, "No, no, it's her idea." So I said, "Okay." So I figured, I would just talk to her and, kind of give her a rough layout of, how it's done, but the things that I know, I can't really pass on to somebody in a, hour meeting. That's ridiculous. So we just kind of left it at that. He gave me his phone numbers and said, "Call me and have a great time," and all that kind of stuff. So we had a really nice flight, and I was really happy to meet him because I'm like, Sam Choi. I could drop a name. So, and I did. When I called realtors to talk to realtors about properties here and what the market was like here, I did drop his name. So that's all for this trip report. We're going to call this one the plane ride over.